You're detoxing from a drug called dopamine, and it's super intense. And I've said before, it's similar to detoxing from any hardcore drug. Maybe harder, can take longer. Depends how long you've been doing it. Anger, rage, mood swings, super restless, insomnia. You feel all out of sorts, insecurity. There's all kinds of emotions that can come up. Why? Because it's like if you do a drug, and this is the reason why people do drugs, for the most part. I mean, some people, they're more compromised neurologically just because of karmic reasons. That's another story. But still, but a lot of people, when they do drugs, pharmaceutical or street drugs, what it does is it keeps one from experiencing and feeling all these different energies and feelings inside us, because it makes a lot of people crazy, especially in the West. Why do people go to a school and shoot people or sit on a roof and want to take people out? Because they're like not balanced. So then they start doing drugs and they feel a little better. Okay, so this is why people get into PMO also. It's an escape. And it's a strong drug. The dopamine's a strong drug. It's easy to get. You don't need money. You don't need to do sexual favors to get it. You got the drugs. You got them all day and night. You just got to hit it. You got to hit the dopamine box, and it releases the drug. How do you hit it? You do things like PMO. Okay. When you stop that stuff, so when you're doing all that, some do it for years, you're blocking and suppressing a lot of energies and feelings in you that normally you would experience if you weren't doing it. That stuff stays there. There was a book, I remember. I just like the title. I never read it. It's something like Feelings Buried Alive. That's what it's like. So the more drugs we do, the longer we do the drugs, the more feelings accumulate, and the more deep they get buried. So then you stop the drug, and it's like, it just all comes in, you can go crazy, you see? So of course, the emotional body, the nervous system, psychologically, you're gonna go through some reorientation, some balance. That takes a bit of time. See, logically, people live in their mind too much. They say, I should do semen retention because it's good for me. I should do it. Okay, that's good. But you're not respecting the other faculties that you have as a human. You have the psychological faculty and the emotional body, the physical body. When you initiate detox, which is when you start practicing semen retention, because you're stopping the dopamine hits, you're going to go into a detox. And those things, emotionally, psychologically, even physically, you're gonna go through some changes. People ask me how long. How do I know? Like, who knows? It's individual. Like I said, it's contingent upon many factors. How long you've been doing it? How intense you've been doing it? Do you already have some issues neurologically with your nervous system? Those people are more sensitive. You're gonna feel the detox and withdrawals more. Your life situation. This is why I made that video, 7 ways to activate your highest potential. That's the most natural, best medicine I know. You do those things as best as you can. They're not, but don't look at it like it's a pill. See, natural things that have a medicinal value doesn't work like if you take Xanax or something. It's going to hit you like immediately. These healthy lifestyle habits, it takes time, man, and you grow into this, but it's the most solid. That's the thing, and it has no side effects. Changing your company and your diet and the environment you stay in, having a spiritual practice, having a creative outlet to channel this energy, practicing semen retention, doing introspection, having a spiritual practice. What else can you do? Those are the highest things. But there's going to be a detox process. It's not like you've been doing those things since you were born. See, we've had a bunch of habits and addictions and attachments and conditioning, and plus you got the natural law of evolution, like we're just going to do those things, you can't help it. You have all that to consider. So when we start changing our life, it can take a little bit of time. Doing semen retention, going through dopamine withdrawal, it's like kicking a hard drug. Number one, it's also those who have water fasted. If you've done 2-3 weeks, a month, then you know that's a deep detox. You're detoxing from food and all kinds of things. The first few days, it's like, okay, it's more physical, but then you start getting into the emotional and psychological detox part of it, of fasting. This same thing, semen retention, same thing. It's a deep detox, and it doesn't end overnight, and especially when you stop edging, it takes it up another level. I've done both. I did semen retention. I mean, I started that when I started it unbrokenly in my 20s, but instinctively I started it as a teen, even without knowing about it. It's just something said, I just found myself when I had sex with my girlfriend, I'm like, I don't want to release. And then I felt the benefits. And so, it kind of started there. And then later I started reading books when I went to India, and I'm like, damn it, like they got it, like they know. And so I was full on. So then I wouldn't lose my semen, but I would lose it via edging, because you can still, remember I made the videos on ojas. It's really about the ojas, because you can physically keep your semen in, but if you're doing lusting and fantasies and edging, you're still burning up your ojas. Ojas is energetic. That gets burnt up in all kinds of ways, not just through sex and PMO and edging. It gets burnt up when you have really intense emotions, the heavy foods we eat, being in toxic situations, stimulating the dopamine center in whatever way you do, stress. That's why, like, and somebody asked me, if I donated my blood, would I still lose ojas? Look, we're gonna lose ojas and energy, like, no matter what, because we're a human being, we're not perfect, but we're trying to get rid of the obvious ways, that we're losing too much. So I was still losing ojas because I was edging. And I'd go to other countries where there weren't a lot of foreigners, and I would edge, man. I would just like go out, and my sole mission was to get girls to look at me. And I got so much attention, and it was never enough. It made me more empty, more anxious. That's the whole hoax. It's like the mind says, look, I just give me a little validation, okay, and I'll be okay. It never works like that. You need more and more and more and more. There's no end. That's why, like, we got to transcend that thing. When you can, it's like, can't do that overnight. It has to happen, it has to evolve. But just be aware, be conscious, that's all. You be conscious as best as you can. If you still do it, okay, be conscious when you still do it. And then you trust that's a spiritual practice. Some say, like, what do you mean spiritual practice? That's good spiritual practice. You be aware of what you're doing. Don't check out and go to sleep. Don't just be numb and like, I'm just looking for female attraction. Oh, she looked at me. Oh, good. Okay, what's the next one? No, you be aware. You bring consciousness into what you're doing. Okay, I want this girl to look at me. How does that feel? I feel a little like kind of weak because I'm wanting this girl to look at me. Okay, but I'm still doing it. She smiled. How did that feel? Oh, I felt pretty good. That's cool. Oh, wait, but there's a tendency I need it again. Okay, let's do it again. Be conscious how that feels. Well, damn, I don't want to keep doing this. You see, be conscious. Don't let the mind beat you up for doing it. That's not what I'm talking about. You see? You be conscious that you're doing it. You be conscious that you can't stop doing it. And then pray and ask, God, can you give me some shift? Because I'm like powerless over this stuff. It's too deep. This is the instinctual level. Second strongest instinct we have, next to self-preservation. Like, God, you got to help me. How am I going to stop? How's my mind going to stop it? My mind's the problem. You see? And you just start working it like that. And then trust the evolutionary journey to happen as it happens. And don't beat yourself up like, damn, I did it again. No, that's mind. Don't do that. You hold space for yourself. You're gonna beat your kid up if you have a child and he does something wrong. See, you hold space for yourself like that, and then you'll be all right. So, you want to know more about spiritual stuff? Go see my other channel, Spiritual Renaissance, and I do consultations if you felt moved to to have one of those. My email's on the YouTube banner, and I'm gonna make one more video. It's getting humid, it might rain, but I'm gonna knock it out. All right, I'll see you.